It was like break your state. The BTS of Tony Robbins, he is, like doing some things, touching points, so karte rehte hain. Those are all anchors. So you have people like Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey, and wo dono crowning win was what she was taught to focus on. If you were to become the number one podcaster, how would it taste like? My uncle is admitted into a hospital. He's in a coma. Like, abhi jaana hai? Like, what happened? No. I want you to go do an NLP session. Like, 90% of our day-to-day things that happen with us, in us, around us, are actually handled by the subconscious. Because consciously, we are not even controlling anything.
Training.
Literally feeding the mind the correct input. पता थोड़ी है यार, वैसे थोड़ी लेके आए हाँ हम तो सब जानते सर भी आता है, अरे ऐसे थोड़ी होता है यार. You train it. So what if you can establish a yes and a no signal with your subconscious and make edits to your sleep patterns, to your language patterns, but
Did you know that our subconscious mind holds the power to cure diseases like coma and paralysis as well? Surprised? Even I was. Well, today's conversation is about one such technique to train our subconscious mind to change our behaviors, our patterns, and to basically obtain results which are otherwise not possible through the modern day technology. So, how do you train your subconscious mind? Well, there are several techniques available, but today we are going to talk about NLP or Neuro Linguistic Programming, which is a way of understanding and training your subconscious mind to change your behavior and your patterns. My today's guest is Mr. Harsh Singhal. Harsh is an NLP expert and he has worked upon more than 2 lakh cases, and he has treated people with serious issues such as PTSD, phobias, coma, paralysis, hypochondria, stammering, and he's also helped a lot of high-performing individuals who have very hectic jobs, a lot of mental load and stress to deal with it and perform consistently in their jobs. They're very interesting cases that we have discussed during this conversation, and Harsh also did one demo on me, which frankly surprised me and I was mind blown. I had a lot of fun having this conversation because I got to learn something new, and Harsh is a very lively person, so this conversation is not at all serious. You will actually enjoy every bit of it, and you will also learn about Neuro Linguistic Programming or NLP. And well, the purpose of this, the Quiet Reset podcast, is to help us reset our mind, body and emotions to align with ourselves again. And I'm going to bring to you guests after guest who will help you deal with some of your issues which the modern science technology is not able to do or not able to explain even. Quietly, how do you reset your systems? How do you tap into the power of your subconscious mind? What are the available techniques that is not spoken very loudly because a lot of big pharma will not let it happen? This is what we're going to talk about in this podcast, and I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you understand that how normal people like you and me can benefit from something as powerful as NLP. Just go and enjoy the podcast. Before that, do subscribe to my channel. I'm going to bring to you very interesting conversations and very interesting people who are really going to help you change the way you look at life, people who are going to help you to make your life better, even just a little bit, but not through the traditional methods. So do subscribe and do enjoy the podcast. Hi, Harsh.
Hi. हेलो जी, हेलो, क्या हाल चाल?
बस बढ़िया, आप कैसे हैं?
बिंदास as always.
ओके, तो यहाँ पर मैंने आपको इसलिए बुलाया है बिकॉज मुझे सीखना है NLP के बारे में.
कल्याण.
तो सबसे पहले यू विल टेल मी कि आप कब से NLP कोच हैं and how many people have you trained?
Okay, so my experience with NLP is nearing almost 10 years now. I had heard the term way back in 2013, I guess, लेकिन कुछ explore किया नहीं उतना. In 2015, I got to know कि workshops होती हैं. In 2016, I finally got to attend. Not exactly a workshop, it was a seminar or something that was being held by a person who used to conduct NLP workshops. That seminar was bakwas, but The person was amazing. And one thing led to the other. I ended up attending their NLP course. For the first time around, कुछ समझ में नहीं आया कि हो क्या रहा है. अच्छा लग रहा था, but like what's happening? Someone was saying Swish, someone was saying Betty Erickson. I'm like, oh, what is all this? I had no background info of it. And then they said, "Acha, come again after some time to the next workshop in this city." Pehla wala Delhi mein tha, next one was in Mumbai or somewhere. ठीक है, okay. That is where was my first brush with NLP. So much so that I got to understand it, learn it. As I started learning it, it became easier for me. It became so easy for me that from the people whom I was learning, they made me their own one of the trainers, top trainers that was there. In addition to that, they started sending me out to some of their one-on-one clientele. Ki, okay, you're good in this. Can you go ahead and do so and so for that person? Which kind of led me to believe that I can do stuff on my own as well, which I did. And then I further got certifications in Neuro Linguistic Programming from the co-creator or the founder of NLP, which is Dr. John Grinder himself, very much alive, lively gentleman of some 80 plus years old now, US Army veteran, linguistic professor in so many colleges and universities, written so many books, and of course has been the front-end runner of the research and development of neuro-linguistic programming since the 70s.
So, almost 10 years now that you have been coaching others for neuro-linguistic programming.
Yes.
So, before we talk about what is NLP, how many people have you coached approximately?
So, an overall figure, because of this group that I was part of, they would do like massive group workshops kind of thing for a week. This was 300 to 500 people roughly.
Okay.
Roughly twice a month hota tha.
Oh.
But it would vary sometimes, of course. But very soon, as I attended more and more, so I got to be part of one of the people who would like get all the people together and do this training for them. Then we would break out into small groups, and कोई 5 people का group चल रहा है, कोई 10 people का group चल रहा है, go get this sorted for them, get this fear resolved, phobia deleted, migraines resolved, etc. Like it was all rapid because we were doing so fast, we were in that zone. तो करते 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 we crossed, I don't know, 1 lakh people तो बहुत easily हो गया था बहुत पहले ही. And through this group and many such group workshops, I was easily able to cross 2 lakh people, and after that I stopped counting. So this was groups though. Then when I started doing one-on-one sessions, I believe, I don't have an exact count, but I believe I have definitely catered on individual aspect anywhere close to 2,000 people since.
Okay, that's massive. I was thinking the number would be in hundreds. Amazing. So, Abhi, I know that most people, and including me, do not know what NLP is. In fact, this is that science जिसके बारे में ज़्यादा बात होती नहीं है. और जिनको पता है उनको पता है, जिन्होंने एक्सपीरियंस किया उन्होंने एक्सपीरियंस किया है, बेनिफिट्स लिए हैं, बट मोस्ट पीपल डू नॉट नो दिस. And I know this because I've spoken to a couple of people just casually thrown around the word. And they had no clue, right? And I'm talking about urban, well-educated people. So you will tell me first what is NLP, and फिर उसके बारे में हम लोग बहुत सारी बातें करेंगे.
Sure. So पहली चीज NLP क्या नहीं है हमारे कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, नेचुरल लैंग्वेज प्रोसेसिंग नहीं है. Yeah. For all the techies, क्योंकि I know we have some common friends who said natural language processing, वो सीख रहे हो तुम, वो सीख रहे हो तुम क्यों सीख रहे हो? Well, it's not that. Neuro Linguistic Programming is बहुत simple. मैं अगर बोलने की कोशिश करूं, so it is a way of decoding your behaviors and patterns, figuring out the bugs and recoding them through the process of language. Okay. As simple as that.
Okay.
And therefore a connect between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. This is the easiest way I can explain it to you.
Let's say you mentioned subconscious mind and conscious mind and change of behavior.
Yes.
तो कैसे होता है, मतलब ये how is language able to modify behaviors?
तो देखो, actually language is just the toolkit. Language is not what changes it. 90% of our day-to-day things that happen with us, in us, around us are actually handled by the subconscious. अभी मैं आपसे बोलूं कि are you controlling your heartbeat?
No.
Are you controlling your breathing? Blinking of eyelids? This posture that you're sitting in? Until I asked it,
Yeah.
right? It's like that. So all of this is subconscious programming. Why subconscious programming? Through what has been built up through the years of growing up, how parents have affected us, teachers have affected us, people who we like, dislike, all of those things. तो subconscious patterns develop होते हैं and they stay with us for the longest part of our lives. Good or bad, we usually don't really know also. Awareness में भी नहीं आते हैं, and sometimes we don't even care as well. But when it comes to the conscious part of things, like, for example, if you say, ki, I've been sitting in this sofa for so long, now I'm feeling a little bit depressive. So you'll notice that there is a slouch of the shoulders in the body language itself, the posture itself. Then what would you do to come out of it? What's the first thing that you will move, you will change the shape. Now, how does that happen? That's a very fast, rapid instruction which was by words consciously to your brain. लेकिन ब्रेन ने किया कैसे? वो तो सबकॉन्शियस से ही हुआ ना. डिड यू से अच्छा लेफ्ट मसल मूव, राइट मसल मूव? ऐसा तो नहीं ना. You just instructed and it happened like that. Like less than instantaneous, it happened like that. That's why subconscious is far more deeper, more intense, more powerful than conscious, because consciously we are not even controlling anything. We are at best or at max, we are in constant conversation. Yes. Control? No.
करेक्ट. हाँ, जब कोई भी चीज ऐसे कंट्रोल करने की कोशिश कर भी रहे होते हैं तो probably we just
It's a very small
that
touch.
conversation, and most people have that conversation in their
In their own
native
head.
language
Yeah,
या फिर
yeah.
जो वो comfortable है उसमें ही खुद को instruction दे रहे हैं. You don't be sad, you can't be sad or something like that. Okay, now I see something here.
Glad glad that you didn't see something. Okay.
तो किस टाइप के बिहेवियर्स चेंज होते हैं और मतलब ऑफ कोर्स बहुत सारी चीजें होती होंगी, बट आपने क्या देखा है मोस्ट कॉमन बिहेवियर चेंजेस जो सबसे इफेक्टिवली हो सकता है एनएलपी से?
For this, I have to give you a little bit of context. So, as I was learning NLP, of course, we were learning NLP for the typical stuff that people were coming to. Ki, I have so and so addiction, so can I get rid of it? I have a very bad habit of scratching my head. Can I get rid of it? Have you heard of bruxism? So that is teeth grinding while you're sleeping. Okay, and it's because of the thanks to the Western world, it's been now called bruxism. कि teeth grinding हम लोग करते हैं while we sleep. Can I resolve that? How about stammering, or as simple as public speaking and glossophobia for that matter? Any such phobia for that matter. So while I was learning NLP, we had again 300, 500 people with varying amounts of challenges, some small, some big. किसी को neck pain है, किसी को migraine है, किसी को health issue है, किसी को कुछ है. Wide gamut of options and choices there. And all we were doing was, let's just try and see what happens. That was the intention we were working with. But the thing was, the funny part or the shocking part was that we were seeing results in all of them. For the person who was having migraines solved. For the person who was having neck pain since so many years, solved.
In the group sessions.
For the person who was stammering, and this is, I don't remember the name of the person, it's actually a kid from Hyderabad who had come to our session there. Because his father was participating. So he said, my kid has stammering since the last 12 years and he's always stammered. Oh, really? Has he always stammered? Is how we went about it. Let's see. So, like me and a couple of other people, introduce yourself. So we were just interacting with the kid, and of course he was stammering, but we noticed few certain things that he was doing, like I am. So there was body language, there was voice, and one of our mentors just went behind the kid, placed 2 fingers on his shoulders like that, continued talking. And as he was going like this, he would press it further down. And it just took maybe 2 or 3 tries. But as the shoulders went down, relaxed, the first line came out. My name is Bhargav. I don't remember the name, just giving the example. My name is Bhargav. And his dad was like, wait, what just happened? Like, bulb lit up. So the application of NLP, and since then, of course, even I have tried their complex clients and cases. There was a kid who was supposed to be going for archery, the archery competitions where the percentile score matters the most. She was already a great performer, a state level champion and stuff. But in order to qualify for the next level, I think the nationals, she was supposed to score 98 percentile and she was stuck on 97. Her coach, no matter how much he tried, ऐसे करो, जोर से मारो, देखो उसको, अर्जुन का वो तीर है, वो ये है, वो है. And she was, not getting it. And all of other friends and colleagues that tried, nothing works. I said, can I try something? Like, sure. Said, we don't have to do anything, just walk with me. And I walked around with her, like, what's happening? Nothing is happening. Like, great. You're able to see the goal, hit the goal. Yeah. So it was something that was playing in her head, which was most probably the word or the phrase from her father, which was an expectation, which was, I said, okay, dad loves you? Yes. You love dad? Yes. Does he mean harm to you? No. I said, okay, can we ask dad in your mind to just sit at the side, at the edge and cheer loudly for you? Yeah. Like, now can you go and shoot? 98.5 percentile.
So you gave 2 examples right now. In one example, the trainer moved the shoulder, which is a physical,
Just pressed
it down. So it's a physical stimulation of sorts.
Sure.
The other one is actually changing probably the context of how she was perceiving her dad. Are these two same techniques, different techniques? Like, how do you classify?
So it's actually difficult to classify it as a technique. Rather, what have we been trained to do is calibrate. John Grinder says calibration is the mother of all techniques, and it is applicable across any field that you pick up, whether it's a programmer, an assassin, a sniper, an interviewer for that matter. You would look for the loopholes or the things that don't match and question again, right? For an assassin, they are so attuned with shooting in adverse circumstances, whether it is wind or temperature or heat or buildings or whatever, they'd be able to see that target so far away, and at the right moment they would just click it and they would achieve it, right? Calibration is knowing when all the things are working in your favor. So this was calibration in both cases, figuring that out. It's not a problem to be fixed. It's trying to find out, okay, in this case, the kid who was stammering, what if this is not a problem? What if this is what it is and it is not a problem? Is there a challenge that he is not able to formulate sentences? What's happening? And when you try to eliminate what is probably obvious according to everyone else, you'd begin to find that it's something odd, something off, not the regular stuff. And you just poke it a little bit and see what happens. In our language, we call this changing the state. What did we do when the kid was doing like that? It was a physical state he was going into and stammering. We released the state. And every time we would do that, and then we told him, just lock your hands in, make sure that your shoulders don't go up when you are about to stammer. You will be able to fix your own stammering. How about that? Really? Try it out. He was there with us for 3 days. In 3 days, he lost 50% of his stammering. By the time they got back home, it's like, किस डॉक्टर को आपने दिखाया, हमारे बच्चे को भी दिखा दीजिए. Like, that was the stuff that parents were being asked, and that was the change. And similar with the case with the girl, it's the same thing. The state was changed. What was the state for her? You can call it a mental state, you can call it a physical state, you can call it an emotional state. I call it just the state because it can be all three, some of them and all of them at the same time. The state was that there was that constant nag of the parent's voice, well intended, but as most often protective parents are, that they hope more for the child. In the eventuality, they end up forcing too much of their own projection or their expectation onto the child. While the child wants to perform, it becomes too much for them to meet that expectation rather than the ease with which they were already performing. Thus, we shifted that. Let your parent be there at a little bit of a distance. It was a mental imagery that we spaced out, changed the state that she was placing herself in, got all the space that she needed, done. Overachieved the target that was required.
तो अभी जब आप ये बता रहे थे हर्ष, तो with the archer girl, it feels that immediately हो गई, you said walk किया हो गया. With the person who was stammering, the kid, it took 3 days or even more to completely come out of that state.
No, the change happened right then.
हाँ.
He had to go through iterations of that on his own to get the system to practice it. His mind to accept this new state.
हाँ.
To go through, like we say, right? Practice makes a man perfect. Not that that's a very weird statement to say, but still, that you give yourself the iteration over and over again to become aware of the new reality. Okay, this is possible. Let's do it.
तो मेरे माइंड में ये क्वेश्चन आ रहा था कि टिपिकली या फिर कोई भी एक एग्जांपल और आप अगर समझा सकते हैं कि कितना टाइम लगता है या कितने सेशंस लगते हैं. व्हाट हैज बीन द लॉन्गेस्ट दैट यू हैव सीन? Why I'm asking this is, it should not sound like a magic pill, because that's what we are trying to do here, right? So we want to educate people कि first solutions है. Maybe the problem is not you. Maybe there's something else which is playing out which you do not understand, and उसको at least course correction किया जा सकता है through NLP. But वो expectation भी set नहीं होनी चाहिए कि I go to an NLP coach and वैसे magic हो जाए.
I will address that.
Yeah.
Yes. So see, of course, it's not a magic pill. What we are doing is, like I said, right, decoding the language of the mind, understanding that how our visual, auditory, kinesthetic senses are affecting us altogether with every single scenario, and that some have become negative patterns or negative habits because of previous such inputs. And that now through NLP, we have the choice of decoding it and recoding it as we would like it. Okay, now it sounds complex. To simplify it, it's not a magic pill, but at the same time, it helps you give more choices to yourself when you believe that none exist. Can the change happen instantly? Almost always yes, and I say that with a caution because you are limited by your own mind's choices. For that kid to believe that can she score 98.5%, that was not the challenge. She knew she could. She already knew that. She was already there. That was not the challenge. There was, if I may say, that clear goal was not so clearly visible, was being overshadowed by something else. As soon as you remove the shadow, voila, my target. And done. Same with the kid with the stammering. He believed he had stammering. Everybody told him he had stammering. We didn't even address the stammering. What did we do? Oh, shoulder adjust kiya hai. It's not scientific, so to say. Another example, I worked with the son of a friend who asked, boss, ये तुम्हारा NLP, can it help my son? He's pre-boards right now and he's almost failing in maths, physics, chemistry. I don't know what it is. He's going to all the he's a very smart kid. He's not going to any tuitions. He studies everything. He answers everything. He scores perfect on that. But when he goes to give exam, God knows what happens. I said, sure, I will help him, but only on one condition. I don't know number of sessions. It may take 3, it may take 4 or 5. And since he's a minor, send someone along with him, but they will not be allowed to sit close to him. They can sit there at the end of the room. We'll do our session. Once he goes back home, I forbid you from discussing what we discussed. I will tell you everything after the board results. I will show you the video recording also if you want. But everything after that, not before that. Don't ask him, don't disturb him, let him prepare as it is. Only on that condition do you send him. For a good 5 seconds, the parent thought, okay. So when the kid came to me, I said, what happened? I am scared of physics, chemistry, and now. Good. How scared are you? Very scared. What if we remove the fear? Uh, okay, sure. I said, I am sure. You tell me, are you sure or not? He said, yeah. If we can remove that one, I'm good. I said, okay, very good. Any problem in understanding? No, I understand it. It's just that I'm afraid the teacher, na, sometimes she shouts so much. Okay, no problem. Fine. So I think I ended up doing what? 3 sessions spread across a month, maybe. So once in 2 weeks, something like that. And it was just conversation and his own language representation of how he feels towards the subjects. So not like therapy, but more like visual imagery, his physiological sensations, what really happens when he actually goes down to write the exam, etc. And I helped him simply through the process of conscious language and subconscious patterns, edit that. I said, now go and give your mock exams. Let me know what happens. But don't tell your dad. He said, I don't tell him. I said, no, don't tell him. Because I told your dad that I told you, you will not tell him. But why? I said, I'll tell you after exams. He said, okay. So, but you tell me. Like, yeah, and I'm able to do exams like before only. Like, okay, good. Go give exams. Guess, so before in his pre-bows, he was scoring some anywhere between 35-40% average. So not that great. Guess what was his board marks?
85?
Yes.
Okay.
But I got the call from his father. He says, Harsh, yeah, he passed. Like, okay, what happened? And I don't know the scores yet. What happened? No, he's not happy. We are not happy. It's like, what happened? How much did he? So, no, you let me talk to him. Like, what happened, Ray? No, Anna, I scored. I got 80% in one and 82% in this. So you passed, right? Like, that's double the score. That is not good. No, Anna. Like, why? I should have scored 88 in mathematics, 87 in physics, 86 in chemistry. I said, Acha, oh, the other side of the problem. Okay. So now what? No, I applied for re-evaluation.
Oh, wow.
मैंने कहा भाई confidence मतलब shocked me, man. And then, of course, a little while later, a week or 2 weeks later, whenever he got the results, I got 85% marks.
Nice.
मैंने कहा मतलब ऐसे भी पता चलता है कि दूसरा प्रॉब्लम है मिलना चाहिए वो नहीं मिल रहा है. So again, exactly. So it's that expectation thing that you have, right? But again, the same thing for him. What did we change? We changed the state that he had towards his preparation, the subjects, the teacher. And I got teacher, how does it matter? Yeah, teacher पढ़ने दो class में, let them do whatever. If it is something that is harming you, you tell your dad to raise complaint. If it is not something that requires to be escalated, just chill, enjoy, you do your work. Your enemy is your exam. You achieve that, move on. Yeah. Like, okay, cool, good. So that's what we did. And that's literally what we do in whoever comes. So I don't do so much of training now. I do what is called as interventions with NLP because every person is unique. A person saying I have migraine versus the other person saying I have migraine since the last 15 years. It's a whole universe of a difference in what's happening with that.
So, Harsh, you were mentioning about it's not same as therapy. So, actually, that was one of the questions that I had. Ki NLP and therapy mein kya difference?
Okay. So this is from the words of a therapist themselves who had come down to our workshop. Because a lot of doctors and therapists, even psychologists had participated in our workshops. And of course, when such people come, we also dig back, ki, haan bhai, batao. Right? So, according to typical clinical therapy, what they explore is the why and how it feels. And it's a very conversational but reflective methodology of the conscious mind, continuously exploring and bringing into awareness through conversation what occurred, why it occurred, what could have been a different response. So, for that reason, it is in my personal opinion, a very slow process, you keep churning and you keep churning and you keep churning, and someday the client will realize, अच्छा मेरे साथ ये हुआ, क्यों हुआ, वगैरह वगैरह. Whereas NLP is interventional, it's rapid. You identified it, and in fact, even sometimes it is content free. We work with people with trauma memories, PTSD of all sorts, and instead of taking them into the gory details of what occurred with them and asking specific details about each moment, it's like, okay, you're there 10 minutes before the event, and we just conversationally surround them, isolate the event itself from their memory, their thought process, and work with them. So it's a whole thing together rather than individual specific thing and how you feel about it. And then we just simply edit it for them in their visual or kinesthetic memory and get it sorted for them. So many people have benefited from that. So typical therapy will keep you, oh, what happened? Then how did you feel? How are you feeling so and so about it? And this goes on for years. Sure, cost effective and probably very achievable that way, but it will go on for years without resolution. Whereas, does a person who has gone through some traumatic incident want to remember the incident? No, they want to forgive or forget or move on or not remember the person. Or in the worst case scenario, what if that person comes and stands in front of you? What do you do with them? Ideally, for your own sanity, do nothing, but be able to smile and move on. How are you able to do that? Through therapy? Not really. People are still in therapy, they haven't got issues resolved. People who've gone through any such interventional methodologies, the results have been massive. And almost always immediate. Almost always.
So, how much is the onus on the person who's, let's say, seeking help?
Sure.
And a therapist versus a NLP coach?
See, this is a little bit of a tricky question because onus कैसे आप define करोगे? अगर someone who is needing help, do they even know what kind of help do they need?
Most likely not.
Most likely not, right? But that's where it comes in the picture. If they go to the therapist, it's going to be that. It's like saying कौन सा syllabus follow करें हम? NCERT करें, ICSE करें, CBSE करें, state board करें, क्या करेंगे हम? And मेरे लिए कौन सा best है? And to be honest, even for that also, we don't really have an answer. All we want is by our child to be educated. That's what we want. But in this situation, especially, I would say, how do you feel about it? Actually ask this question. Do you really want to continue spending the next 20 years of your life moping about it, complaining about it, whining about it, or not even that, or feeling just bad about it? How long will you invest your time and energy into feeling bad with that one thing that happened, which may have been, in terms of time duration, for very small duration, but it stays with you for the rest of your life? Is that what you want? Or would you want to get rid of it? Or rid of it probably is a very casual term, but be free from it. Be free from the clasp of it. Then what would you do? Would you not want that? And if your answer is yes, then seek stuff like NLP or even hypnosis for that matter. Both are far more rapid than clinical methodologies.
Okay. And so we spoke a lot about the use cases जहाँ पर बच्चों को train किया है या बच्चों को coach किया गया है. Let's talk about a little bit of non-threatening situations.
Sure.
जो कि as adults, especially urban corporate adults, we're facing. So one is there's a lot of stress that people are feeling these days. Anxiety levels are rising, and LinkedIn is full of posts जहाँ पर dissatisfaction, anxiety, which leads to a lot of health problems. And the way it is being approached, या फिर what is being sold to us is कि increase your productivity, get into a routine. But अगर इतना आसान होता तो कर लेते, right? Why wouldn't somebody want to get rid of the stress and the anxiety, and why wouldn't somebody want to be a super achiever? But नहीं कर पा रहे, and that's the reality of it, right? And that's the reason I started this podcast also, the Quiet Reset podcast, where जहाँ पर non-traditional methods को use करके can we make our lives better? And better is not more productive or more, super achievement. It's better in sense of fulfillment and better in sense of just being more calm and okay, just living,
I would call it inner peace.
Inner peace, yes. So, so ये सारी situations की भी आपके पास आते हैं लोग या how do you help them?
To be honest, people don't reach out. Firstly, that's like a blanket statement. People don't reach out because they feel that if they're a known person, they're like, I'm being too vulnerable with a friend. How do I mix that? So that is typical in whether you're a therapist or any profession. It's not easy for people to ask for help. And it's more of a cultural and a mental mindset than anything else.
But I also feel that a simple explanation could be that पता ही नहीं है, like even I didn't know before this that let's say NLP can help me lead a better life, which is not, it's not a life threatening situation, so to say, right? Because if you speak to a friend or a colleague, they'll say ये तो सबके साथ हो रहा है, right? मतलब what's special about you? So if you're going through this is life. But off late मुझे ऐसा feel होने लगा है कि it is not supposed to be this hard. Right, and that is why मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि maybe there is a solution. So yeah, over to you.
It's about realizing that this whole corporate culture, the stress, the night shifts and so on, what used to be starry-eyed world starting in the late 90s, early 2000s, that bubble is kind of bursting. People are wanting mental peace above everything else because of multiple factors globally that have been affecting this choice as such. And now people want it. People need it, of course, want it even more. With respect to stress, see, again, that is subjective. Stress for people could be anything. It could be the mother-in-law shouting, or someone saying something, or someone just looking at somebody in a weird way. It could be any number of things, right? At the end of all of it, what's the common thread in all of them? It's a perception that you make about what is happening with you. Okay? You feel whatever, judged, or feel being made to feel lesser about your skills or ability or something of that sort, which adds to it the cognitive slow down or the blanking out or the mind fog, that while that is happening, my productivity decreases or dips. What I'm trying to bring the conversation to, state of being, state of mind, state of physicality, state of emotion is one of the biggest thing which affects. Because if you change your thoughts, you change your emotions and therefore the feelings. And also it works the other way around. If you change your feelings and all of this, your entire thought process changes and you're able to reverse it. कर सकते हैं वो. And it is all about state. Again, a person in a depressive state will always have a slouched version of their body language. To change that, break their state. Now, this is something that we were taught to rapidly try in a group of 300 people. You got to break the state of everybody. At the moment you meet them, break the state. Hi, Misha. Broke your state. Because you were listening to me intently. But just that broke your state. Now, this can happen in multiple ways, depending on the context and the situation you are in. For the stress that you're feeling, people, what I'm seeing in the social media these days, people talking about, there was a viral reel, healing kuch nahi hota hai. Play one of Altaf Raja songs and just dance your heart out. What is that? Changing the state, your physical state. I don't accept being in a depressive state of mind. I am dancing my heart out. And of course, when you're moving your body at a different rhythm or a pace, you cannot be depressive in that moment. Yeah. So all of it comes down to this. And in fact, there were these words said by Dr. John Grinder himself. So it's state over structure over content. What does that mean? The state of you, physical, emotional, mental, all of that, is like almost 60-70% responsible for everything else. Then the structure of it, how is it structured? In what format is it? Is it a state associated to a person, event, whatever, right? And then the details of it, the content of it, what happened. So if you change this, these two are much easier to change. But people focus on the content part. अरे उसने ये कह दिया मुझसे, ऐसे कैसे कह दिया? We get into that part because it affects the surface level emotions like tuck, 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 ego, anger, jealousy, feeling less, all of that. Because we've grown up, Indians in the last 40, 50 years have grown up coming off from the whole geopolitical tensions and growing in lack. तो वो माइंडसेट वैसा है क्योंकि पेरेंट्स वैसे सिचुएशन से निकले. वो कैसे निकले? बिकॉज देयर पेरेंट्स वर लाइक दैट. सो इट्स एंड नाउ वी टॉक अबाउट जनरेशनल ट्रॉमा, राइट? तो इट्स समथिंग दैट इज जस्ट हैंडेड डाउन. हाउ डू यू स्टॉप इट? यू चेंज इट बाय चेंजिंग द स्टेट. नोबडी टॉट इट. नोबडी न्यू दैट समथिंग लाइक दिस exists. Everybody was like, हाँ वो फ्रेंड से बात कर लो, सब ठीक हो जाएगा.
Yeah, correct. So पहले फ्रेंड्स थे, अभी थेरेपी है, and not belittling therapy.
Yes.
But yeah, as you said कि बात करना is not always. I mean, I've seen people not being helped because this talking is not helping them. Right. So
I understand that part because I have a lot of people who are the such friends. यार वो कितना बात करता है यार, वो डिप्रेसिव स्टेट में आता है, वो ठीक हो जाता है, मैं डिप्रेस हो जाती है. ऑब्वियसली बिकॉज यू बोरोड दैट स्टेट, दे गॉट रिलीव्ड ऑफ इट, यू कैरिड इट ऑन. सो अ वेरी सिंपल थिंग, इफ आई कैन जस्ट क्विकली टेल यू, इफ आई आस्क यू टू break this state, what will you do?
Probably change my posture.
Exactly. Very simply, right? Yeah. But there's just one simple thing which was not even taught. We just sort of learned it by observing our mentor. It was like, break your state.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the.
You see animals doing it so much and so often.
Oh yes.
Birds, dogs, pigs, buffaloes, any animal. Yeah, and it's.
We don't.
I mean, there is no, of course, there is no language that can be common, but if you observe, it's very often and almost like a repetitive pattern.
Yes. Now that you are saying it, it's bringing back visuals of animals sort of shit.
Yeah, all sorts of animals have their own resetting system. So breaking the state neutralizes whatever was happening.
Which means physical has a big
chunk of it, yes. But sometimes physical is not possible, which is why I'm covering everything in the state. Because for a person who is in a deep depressive state or nearly suicidal for that matter, they will not get up from the bed for days. No matter what you do, you throw water on them, you hit them, beat them, abuse them, give them food, don't give them food, etc. It won't change them. You pick them up, they won't join that energy at all, and you let them go and they'll fall right flat as if they're dead, because their deep state of mind is already dead.
Got it. And can NLP help such people as well?
Hopefully yes. I say that with a caution because my own journey has been to explore NLP, the limits of NLP, if I may say so. I've been scolded multiple times by my mentors. Make a niche of it. Which niche? Like, children stick to children, adults stick to adults, elders stick to adults. So I have covered all of the aspects of it, all of the varieties where we can apply NLP. This is one that I have not applied it myself. I did end up applying it to a comatose patient. The comatose patient woke up.
Okay.
But again, a person in deep depressive state who would not respond, we need to figure out, not to sound very glib or casual, but we need to find out their trigger as to what is keeping them there. Because even the most depressive person has still a couple of, things remaining which will fire them up, whether it is the voice of a person, smell of a food, memory or event or sound or beat. I don't know. I am just sharing all the possibilities that are coming in my head. If they hear that, smell that, remember that, it will at least stir them, and that is all that we're looking for. You just stir them out of that slumber, and then you can get them to do other things, get them to do music, or get them to bathe, for that matter. Bathing solves the depressive state cycle for most people.
Wow. Okay. That's a revelation.
Very simple. Because you are stuck, right? You're not following your daily rituals, so to say, whatever they may be, and your body is stuck in just one loop. Whereas we go through so many loops and cycles day in and day out about eating food, drinking water, talking to friends, talking to parents, listening to them, cribbing about them, buying vegetables, not buying vegetables, so on and so forth. But all of us have those patterns and loops. And when we get stuck in them, we start going the negative spiral down. We need to figure that out. The moment we figure that out, change the loop. That's what you do.
So, Harsh, we have been talking about a lot of serious things so far, and looks like that NLP has the potential to resolve a lot of issues which seemingly seems impossible to resolve. But थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे break करेंगे इस conversation को, and let's talk about something less serious.
So conversation state break, huh?
Conversation state break करेंगे. तो definitely in the West, ज़्यादा uptake है for something like NLP, more openness to it. Are there any famous personalities जिन्होंने NLP के बारे में या तो बोला है या फिर they have taken the NLP sessions, they benefited? कुछ ऐसे examples जो probably हमारे viewers relate कर पाए?
Certainly. Of course. One of the biggest example is the prodigy of Dr. John Grinder. That is none other than Tony Robbins.
Okay.
World famous, of course, known as the number one most sought after trainer and coach, life coach for that matter. And this was told by Dr. John Grinder himself. The story was like, he was one of the very early on students. Once Dr. Grinder and Bandler had started publishing their works because they were working on decoding the sessions of Milton Erickson. Milton Erickson was a polio-struck man who overcame his own polio challenge by moving his legs through his own therapeutic voice. And it was a very ugly voice, by the way. There are YouTube videos, you guys can check it out. Search for Milton Erickson. Very publicly recorded. People would come from all over the world to see, bhai, aisa ho kya raha hai? What is this guy doing that people are solving their traumas and getting healed? Like, what is he doing? And all he would do is just tell stories. That's it. Nothing else. So those works were being decoded by Grinder and Bandler and Pucelik and few others. And then those decoded sessions were brought into as processes through public workshops, which was noted down. I believe, if I'm correct, the book's name was Structure of Magic 1 and 2.
Okay.
These were published in the 70s or something. And this is literally the transcript of the public workshop as it has happened. And वो जब publish हो गया तो उसके बाद is where Tony Robbins somewhere around that time comes into the picture. I want to get, like help me and train and stuff. So John Grinder ने किया उनके लिए. Tony Robbins was so good in his stuff and so ambitious from early on that he learned it, applied it, changed it for himself, and then grew in that. Even today, when you see the BTS of Tony Robbins, he is, like doing some things, touching points, so karte rehte hain. Those are all anchors that he has already amplified them. When you hit this surge of energy, you just touch this spot, surge of extreme awareness. You can see everybody, the emotions of the person sitting right there at the top, 100th person over there. He can see that. Because in the middle, he will pick up somebody
and
he has
trained himself
so much
through NLP. And then applying the same to...
And he's just conversationally doing the changes. So people go coming up, if you see the video, like, uske aate hi people are crying.
Yeah.
What is that?
Just the video is so powerful.
Why is it so powerful? Because, you would say stuff like, aura is so strong, vibe is so energetic. Yeah. What is all this? This is the state of being. He is so present that just with his presence, your entire aura and vibe is elevated. इसका एक दूसरा example, you might have felt feeling tingles or goosebumps in the presence of certain really, cerebral people like Sadhguru या लोग बस आप बैठ जाओ.
मैंने फील किया है when I attended a session of Sri Sri Ravi Shankar meditation session, I could physically feel something which was more powerful than my own state.
Yeah.
And that was a session of probably thousands of people. Just one guided meditation. And it wasn't everybody who was feeling this way. And it was the first time I was interacting with, I'm not even like a follower, but I could feel it physically on my body. Like I went into a state of like slumped like this. And then when he said, okay, now you can just come back, I was like, I felt something happen inside of me.
100%. What you just described, by the way, is one version of a deep state of trance. It's a language of hypnosis. We don't put people to sleep in hypnosis. That is completely something super questionable ethics over there. But what they show in the TV, watch going. This used to happen in the 1600s because that was the easiest way of distracting anybody with a gold watch. That you focus your attention on that watch and it goes tick tock, tick tock. It's not even the tick tock, it's that movement of that, right? And hypnosis is hyper focused attention to one modality, visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. But if you combine all three, imagine the trance state that you would go into. So it's hyper aware state that hypnosis is.
Okay. So hypnosis is also one of the tools that you use if needed.
100%, because, and that brings me to that, to answer the original question, people who are famous or who have achieved more from these. So I also got trained in New York in the NLP Center of New York. That's the name. These folks were also the ones who had initially learned from Bandler and Grinder, the two people who decoded the works. These folks are called Stephen Leeds and Rachel Bott of the NLP Center of New York. I was there to visit my sister. I said, might as well, do something. So I found out they're quite nearby and I said, चलो चलते यार, 1 महीना है, कुछ सीखते हैं. And it was such a pleasure being there with him, with someone who has seen the original works being done. So of course they have their own experience, and because they live in like the epicenter of the modern world in New York, so of course they've had a whole list of celebrities come down to them for changes and stuff because they weren't getting faster results through typical therapy or clinical therapy. So you have people like Tony Robbins, people like Oprah Winfrey. There is a viral clip of Oprah Winfrey working with, I think, Deepak Chopra, where Deepak Chopra is getting Oprah to hold one of those dowser pendulums in her hand and saying, now, in your mind, tell it to move in one direction, and it does. And Oprah is like, wow. Now, in your mind, tell it to stop, and it comes to almost a grinding halt. And now tell it to go in the opposite direction, and lo and behold, within a couple of seconds, it goes in the opposite direction. And these are two famous celebrities sitting right there, and that's what's happening. That's the part of the subconscious mind so tangible that you can feel it that way, right? India की अगर बात करें तो I do not know too many names because people don't talk about it that openly. But from what I've heard from a couple of my colleagues and people who initially I worked with, they were already into the image makeover industry and stuff like that. So they were working with this, what do you call that? Beauty pageants. So one such example where my colleague worked was with Manushi Chillar in helping her visualize the wind, the crown being placed on her head. I think she won 2017, right around that time. The Miss India, I believe, and then the Miss World, है ना? So दोनों वो it happened within the span of time. तो वो दोनों crowning win was what she was taught to focus on. And in NLP we have something called submodalities. So not just affirmation हाँ हो जाएगा.
मैं अभी वही पूछने वाली थी. Again, I am seeing a lot of common links between, let's say, visualization, manifestation.
Exactly. But how do you make it so that it is real? Affirmations and visualizations work when you see it, feel it, taste it, touch it.
Correct.
In your mind. That's when it becomes real. You have to. Now people might call it पागल हो गया.
Voodoo.
Yeah, like is it, are you psychotic? Are you crazy? Are you mad? These are the things that people use.
But recently, what has come across, at least I was listening to one of the manifestation podcast, and they were talking about Gukesh, who's the youngest chess champion, right? So apparently, he had visualized him winning the chess against Carlsen, and that too, he wanted to become the youngest world champion ever, probably. So it is being said that he did do this visualization very very powerfully, and it was in his head, like, but of course a lot of people are not able to visualize. So again, NLP help them in achieving that state where I'm able to see my goal very very clearly.
So visualization का slightly थोड़ा सा, the definition has gone a little off the topic, I believe, for people in general, because they think अरे यार वो image देखनी है, image नहीं दिख रही है. Like, okay, so what are they describing? They're describing that one of their visual perceptions of imagination is not as 100% as the other. तो उनका एक 5 senses तो है ना यार. None of them are working. No, they are. We have auditory, kinesthetic, visuals, gustatory, olfactory. सारे हैं. If you use any three in combination, there is a near assuredness that you will achieve it. So if you can't imagine it, can you hear it? Can you feel it? Touch? Can you taste it? How would it taste like if you were to become the number one podcaster? How would it taste like the day you celebrate?
To taste like jalebis.
Right? Now hold that thought. And when you hold that thought, let it stay with you. You don't. Okay, let me ask you this also. How did you imagine those jalebis? Can you describe that a little bit?
So I saw them to be like orange.
Okay. How many jalebis?
I think 3 4 together.
In a bowl, in a plate, in a box?
More of a plate kind of extra.
How far away from?
It was very, very close, like I could.
Just hold that there. What if I ask you to make the picture just a little bit bigger?
Okay.
How does that feel?
Yeah, a lot of jalebis.
Right. You still feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to do something you might not like. What if I ask you to the same big jalebis, black and white? What happened? You didn't like it, right? Sorry, undo that. Please control Z.
Like a transition filter, right?
So undo it. Sorry. And bring it small back again as you saw it.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is the submodalities editing.
Okay.
Visual, color, size, representation, near, far. What were you hearing when the jalebis were being served to you?
I not during the serve, but I could hear the crispiness of the crunch. Like when I take a bite, I could hear the.
Did you taste it? Almost.
Almost,
right?
Not
Exactly the point. So this is
But my mouth is already.
mine is too, listening to your jalebis, but yes. But that's the thing, right? This is exactly what I'm describing. That visualization is not the challenge. It's how you're limiting your thought process around it is the challenge. You can't imagine it. Don't imagine it. Can you hear it? Can you feel it? Can you touch it? People talk about lucky clothes.
Yeah.
Lucky clothes, not really so much of a concept as much as how it makes you feel when you wear it, how you wear it, that particular scent that you put on. Olfactory, right? Gustatory, taste. So combination of these senses is what is helping you stay focused on that reality. Stay focused on that reality. Not this reality, na? नहीं होगा. ए जलेबी से कुछ नहीं होता. सही बातें करो, तो पागलबंदी बातें नहीं करो. Is the stuff people would say.
Yes.
Because it doesn't match with their reality of how to achieve stuff. You have to work hard, then you get it.
Correct.
Work hard, then deserve. किसने बोला मेरे को आसानी से मिल जाता है? What's your problem? Make it an easy baat.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the belief system issue. So a lot of examples like this. So Manushi Chillar is there. A lot of sports persons do it. A lot of anchors and hosts do it. Nobody talks about it.
So like a lot of times I've heard people that before going on stage, they sort of have a ritual, or they'll touch themselves somewhere else, or they'll breathe, and that sort of helps them anchor, helps them.
Even in public speaking, I know of people who like jump up like
Yeah, we have seen those videos, right? Before coming on stage, people will sort of jump.
hype themselves
Yeah.
तो ये हाइपिंग क्या है? स्टेट को आप नॉर्मल बातचीत से निकाल के सुपर हाई एनर्जी करो, क्योंकि सामने 5,000 लोग बैठे हैं. यू आर टाइनी लिटिल पर्सन इन 5,000 सीटर ऑडियंस. यू हैव टू रीच द लास्ट पर्सन. तो यू हैव टू मेक योर सेल्फ larger than life, louder, not just on mic, but louder than normal, so that everyone can connect with you. That's what happened. And all of it, आपको traces of NLP तो हर चीज में दिखेंगे. Even in day to day, when you are, has it ever happened you set an alarm and snoozed it?
Always.
But has it also happened that something important is there on a certain day and you've woken up 1 minute, 2 minutes before that alarm?
Absolutely. So many times.
कौन बोला था उठने के लिए? कोई नहीं बोला था. But then you spoke to your subconscious to wake you.
Yes.
Another version of this is nannies and dadis, they always say the best of stuff. They're like, ठीक है, सुबह उठना है, तकिया को बता देना, तकिया माई उठा देना, तकिया माई 5 बजे उठा देना हमको सुबह, and you'll wake up at 4:50. वो दूसरा बात है कि you'll sleep again.
I knew of a person actually when I was a kid. Unfortunately, she is no more. But she had an impact on me. So we were, due to some reason, I was at her house studying with her during my 10th board.
Okay.
And I was always a late nighter. She was an early riser. And she was 1 year senior to me. Now, she would never put an alarm. Never.
No.
And she was in 11th. I was in 10th, okay? Never put an alarm. She used to say that I exactly know when I have to wake up, and I will wake up at that time. I have never put an alarm in my life, and I don't need to. I was amazed. I lived with her for a week. I was shocked कि बिना अलार्म के कोई कैसे उठ सकता है. And she would wake up at the time that she would tell herself कि कल इतने बजे उठ के मुझे पढ़ाई करनी है. वो उतने बजे उठ जाती थी, उठ के अपना पढ़ लेती थी, फिर वो मुझे उठा देती थी, क्योंकि अलार्म अलाउड नहीं था उनके रूम में. तो वो शी यूज्ड टू टेल मी, तू सो, तू टेंशन मत ले, मुझे बता दे कितने बजे उठाना है, आई विल वेक अप एंड वेक यू अप. I never understood how did that work, and that too for a child. But now,
simple conscious programming working unconsciously, it is so clear for her in her awareness that the moment she says, okay, I have to wake up,
she was super focused person, super focused. Like, तो अभी जैसे आपने famous examples तो आपने बता दिए. आपका, you have coached 2,000 people individually also. What is that one case that is closest to your heart, or maybe it was the most difficult to crack, जो बिल्कुल याद रह गया, घर कर गया आपको?
There are quite a few, but the ones that stand out were firstly probably the one that shocked me. And this was not even when I was like in my peak of like my skill set. This was like very early on. I had hardly been doing NLP for 2 years, maybe, I guess, 2.5 years, not more than that. And I had functioning knowledge and ease of working with just 3 processes. Usse zyada, if you tell me to do, like, I would need to refer the notes or, revisit it or something. Anyhow, so what happened was, this was a cold January night, about to wind down for the day, when a friend calls me, Harsh, ek emergency hai. I do like, what happened? My uncle is admitted into a hospital. He's in a coma. Can you go? As a friend, I'm thinking ki, like, suddenly something happened, and this is what I misunderstood. Like, abhi jana hai? Like, what happened? No. I want you to go do an NLP session. Like, what are you talking about? And she explained that she wants me to go and try wake him up from the coma. I'm like, kya bol rahi hai? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medically licensed person. You're telling me to go into a hospital, tell doctors, move aside. मैं करता हूँ. पिटवाना है क्या? पागल हो गई? रोड पे बांग खा गया ये? What happened to you? No, Harsh, you go.
So her belief was,
yeah, मैंने कहा भाई तू क्या खा के आई है? पोपाई का जो स्पिनच खा लिया क्या तूने? Nonetheless, she persevered apparently, and she convinced me, अच्छा जाओ तो. I was like, bro, okay, fine, I जाओ तो, but What if no one allows me to enter? Like, who will let me enter there? No, my family people, they'll allow. Okay, what if doctors object? No, I'll get the NOC from them. Okay, she definitely has more faith than me. And I was still in two minds. What to do. And I was scared also a little bit. What happened? ऐसा सोच रहा था मैं. But she insisted so much. कहने लगा चलो जाते हैं. I told her, look boss, if I'm not comfortable, I'm exiting. Round about turn forward march खत्म. हाँ ठीक है, sure. But try ना. यार okay. I reached there. The family member, whoever it was, got me up I think some third or fourth floor, whatever. वहां पे लिखा होता ICCU. मैंने कहा ICCU, ICU होता है ना, इंटेंसिव क्रिटिकल केयर यूनिट. मैंने कहा ओके, चैलेंज छोटा नहीं है, बड़ा है. वेरी गुड, ऑल द बेस्ट हर्ष. इन आई वेंट. The person was sorry, the bed was there empty. Then I saw a person is right next to the bed on an inclined chair in that small cubicle जैसा room. तो रूम में जगह नहीं है, ऑलरेडी ओपन सा रूम है, नो डोर्स. I think the wife of the person was there. हाँ beta, yeah, she told me. Okay, we'll all go out. I go, no, one person stay. No, it's fine. In my head, I'm like, क्या करना है यार, मैं क्या करेगा इधर? So many pipes are going in and out of the person. He's hardly breathing. Body is swollen. Obviously, no response. मैं क्या करूँ? So then, like, अच्छा चलो चलते हैं. And I turned around, and obviously that auntie she was standing there, like, beta, it's like, oh, emotions. And like, अच्छा auntie, tell me about this person. She told me he's my husband, life of the family, this, that. And then again my friend's voice in my head, yeah, try to करना. चलो भैया, प्रभु का नाम लेकर, let's do something, whatever. What do I know? I know 3 things. I will do those 3 things. At least I can say I tried. I didn't go with any, yeah, मैं कुछ करेगा. चलो ठीक है. I started. First 5 minutes I'm like, बस एक बार करके exit.
But what are those 3 things?
So there were the processes that I knew at that point was one was I believe anchoring, the other was Betty Erickson, and the third was swish. Okay, very common techniques also. But I ended up doing the Betty Erickson and the swish more than anchoring. Anchoring requires you to like touch a spot and stuff. I don't want to do something incorrect or whatever. The person is like literally intubated and stuff. And I did it once. अच्छा एक बार करते हैं. Did it again. And then I don't know what happened. I went into some sort of zone or whatever, and I kept repeating those processes over and over. And remember I said the bed, the person on the inclined chair, and I am like sort of squished between him and the window partition of the other side. And I'm bent over at him, speaking slowly, doing the processes over and over. I'm sweating also. And I realize that I'm feeling a little bit dizzy as well. But whatever is that inner force कह लो या guidance system कह लो, and I'm continuing to do it and I'm not stopping. Like my will is not allowing me to stop. Keep doing it, keep repeating. In one of the processes, unconscious responses aata hai. Like you would notice sometimes like a nerve moves just a little bit, or there's the slightest twitch in the knee or the skin, something like that. So we are taught to like observe and calibrate for stuff like that. Now there were 1 or 2 very subtle movements that were happening, and I thought glitch hai. Like like proper with normal it might happen, but I kept repeating. And those same things at the same spot, in the same manner, in the same intensity, kept happening. I was like, is that a response? So I explored that, which led me to do the process all over again. Now with that as assuming
Recalibration.
Exactly, recalibration. And in the end, I did that finalization process 3 times to confirm that that is exactly what I am, concluding as to be, in which there is the conclusion of this process comes out to, is there a specific timeline in which the result will be there? And we go like 1 day, no response, 2 days, no response, 3 days, some, minor movement like that. Like, really? I checked again. 4 days, no response. 5 days, no response. I go back again. 1 day, no response. 2 days, no response. 3 days, again response. I was like, huh, really? Do I even say that out loud? And I'm thinking, and then the last time I do it, I got the same response. And took me back to class 10 chemistry days. 3 बार तो experiment करते हैं ना, अब 3 बार same result आ रहा है, तो yeah, that is the result. And by this time, I think I'm about to faint or whatever, so I stop. The moment I stop, I breathe a sigh of relief, and the moment I take the first step, I'm about to fall. The auntie was standing over there. I sit down in a chair. Gave me some water. I drank some water. She's like, "What happened?" I was like, "Auntie, I've done everything I can. If he wakes up, he's going to wake up in 3 days. Rest is in God's hand." And she's looking at me wide-eyed. क्या बोल रहे हो तुम? And I am unable to speak. I'm like super tired. So I called my friend. I said, "Boss, I did what I could. 3 days में अगर आया तो आ गया, वो you let me know." And I exited. Went home, slept, woke up the next day, 12 o'clock. First day goes by, nothing happens. Second day goes by, nothing happens. Third day goes by, nothing happens. Fourth day, I'm like, अच्छा कुछ हुआ होगा, phone आएगा. No phone call. By the fifth day, I'm like, हाँ नहीं यार, कुछ नहीं हुआ. It's a fluke. It's okay. कुछ नहीं हुआ. Fifth day goes by. Sixth day goes by. Midnight, seventh day starts. Phone call. बेटा वो मैं लपसे मानती बोल रही हूँ. बताना था आपको, वो आपने जो बोला वही हुआ. वो उठ गए थे और फोन नहीं कर रहे. मैं
छुट्टी होती है.
ओके ओके आंटी ठीक है. आई मैसेज माय फ्रेंड लाइक, अच्छा ओके, इवन आई वाज ट्रैवलिंग, आई डिडंट नो, लेट मी गेट बैक टू यू. शी गॉट बैक टू मी, रोड अ टेस्टिमोनियल ऑन माय फेसबुक पेज कि ऐसे ऐसे कोमा में थे मेरे अंकल. हर्ष ने बोला 3 दिन में उठ जाएंगे, थर्ड डे वो उठ गए. मैंने कहा पागल है, ऐसे लिख दे रही है, बस बस लिख दे रही है. भाई को कुछ तो बता क्या हुआ. शी इज लाइक कि नहीं, वो थर्ड डे जैसे खत्म हुआ ना, उन्होंने आंखें खोली एंड ही स्टार्टेड मूविंग हिज नेक एंड ऑल. सो नर्सेस रश्ड इन एंड व्हाटएवर दे हैड देयर प्रोटोकॉल्स टू फॉलो. अरे ये उठ कैसे गए? What happened? क्या मंदिर किया आपने? किसको बुलाया? कौन बाबा ओझा? What did you do? भाई 2 calls I got from the hospital. मैंने कहा भाई मुझे नहीं करना, मेरी मेरी हालत खराब है, मेरी पड़ गई. मैंने कहा पता नहीं क्या पूछेंगे भाई, मुझे नहीं करना, तू हैंडल कर. Went back, shared it with my team जहाँ से सीख रहे थे सब हम लोग. Nobody was anticipating I would drop a BrahMos missile there. Yeah, I woke up with a coma patient. हाँ रुको रुको रुको, स्टॉप एवरीथिंग, फोकस ऑन हिम. क्या बोल रहे हो भाई? यही कहानी सुनाई उनको. He called. My mentor knew that girl. He called her. This happened. Ah, yeah. He's awake.
And the doctors didn't know क्यों उठे and all that. No scientific explanation.
मैं डर गया था यार. मैंने कहा पता नहीं भाई. So I'll just complete that thought कि so this is what she shared. I spoke to my friend, went back to my team, shared that. They were in shock, related the whole story to them. Of course, there was cheers and they're like, Pete khoka yaar, baap re. And later, during COVID, I got the chance to, I thought of going to achieve the NLP certification from Dr. John Grinder himself, because thanks to COVID, he was available online. And of course, when there is an interaction with
The man himself,
I said, "Can I share something with you?" And I told him the story, and he was astounded. He loved it. He was like, "We have the next Harsh Erickson from India." It's like, oh damn, bro, मुझे अब कोई certificate नहीं चाहिए. So John sir ने बोल दिया, बस that's it. I don't need anything else in my life. I'm sorted.
So Harsh, हमने इतनी सारी बातें करी. What the way I am connecting all these dots is that a lot of it feels like developing an intuition can help, but then intuition develop करने में शायद NLP help करता है. Or like how's the unconscious mind, subconscious mind, conscious mind ये सब आपस में कैसे प्ले कर रहे हैं is the theme that I'm trying to understand better.
Well, yes, and to some extent no. तो let's put it this way, अगर कोई लेमैन को समझना है तो should they chase understanding the conscious, subconscious, etc.? Ideally, no. Someone like me who wanted to study and explore NLP and wants to make changes should explore that. Someone who's curious to edit it at that level should explore that, क्योंकि उसको करने के लिए आपको कुछ चीज़ें और सीखनी पड़ेंगी. आप just ऐसे जाके you can't just make a random change and hope that it will work. Because there are way too many factors into play which help you finally make the change. For example, आपने बात करी sort of developing the intuitive skill set की अगर बात करें तो how can you develop it? There are some people who are born with it. They say if someone is staring at me, I know who's staring at me. Things like that. You can actually train your mind to develop that. In fact, we played a game when we were learning things. So what did we do? We sat one of us down on a chair, and we began with two people first, eyes closed, blindfolded, and the two people would. Now this is a training exercise. This is not a guess karo and you will win. No, this is training exercise to train the intuitive auditory senses into so finely calibrated to identify which person is snapping their fingers.
Okay, which person?
Which person is snapping their finger between the two? Person A, person B. Can be two men, two women, one man, one woman, one child, one adult, whoever, whatever. ये सारे combinations हम लोग ने किए. And everyone found that at the end of 5 iterations, and बताता हूँ कैसे, at the end of 5 iterations, everybody could figure out किसका है.
Okay.
So what happened was, suppose I'm sitting and both of you are snapping, eyes closed. I make a guess. Obviously, it begins with a guess. I make a guess. I say, you snap, and I say, Abhishek. He said, you don't say it. He says, Abhishek. Okay. We snap again. Perhaps it was you, but I say Abhishek again. Then you say the correct name. So you keep going back and forth, 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 till the mind says the right thing. You say yes.
Training.
Literally feeding the mind the correct input. पता थोड़ी है यार, कोई वैसे थोड़ी लेके आया कि हाँ हम तो सब जानते, सर भी आता है. अरे ऐसे थोड़ी होता है यार. You train it. And now you snap the finger. Nimisha. Abhishek. Then Nimisha is being a little bit naughty. She goes like, Nimisha? हाँ. तुमने चेंज किया लेकिन फिर भी पकड़ा. इतना फाइन ट्यून हो गया है वो. Now play it with 3 people. 4, 16.
Wow.
100.
Really?
Not at the same time.
Okay.
That is too massive even to conduct. But I think our team went up till 16.
Wow.
उसमें already लोगों के बहुत सारे achievements हो गए थे उतने में. And same goes for visual. Same goes for like a very it'll sound very boring as an exercise. Sit in a very public place every single day where the same kind of people go back and forth. And it's about what is it that you're teaching your mind? You're teaching your mind to observe patterns. Patterns of what? Sit at the beach, observe the footstep of people, listen to it, don't watch, keep looking somewhere else. And just by their footfall, can you tell, is it a man or a woman? Is it a fat man or a fat woman? Is it a thin man or a thin woman? Is it an old man or an old woman? Is it a child? Is it someone who has tiny feet or big feet? And you have a friend who's giving you feedback, constantly giving you feedback. You can't just do it alone unless you can and still observe and see. And then you become really good at guessing or intuitiveness. So you develop the senses to do that.
So Harsh, हमने इतनी सारी बातें करी about intuition, about subconscious mind and conscious mind, breaking the state. So I want to know कि you now being trained in, of course, coaching others, लेकिन आपने अपनी ट्रेनिंग का अपने ऊपर कैसे यूज किया या फिर in a day-to-day life आप करते हो क्या यूज?
Sure. See, it's one of those things ki now that you've learned it, you can't turn it off. Right? Matlab, you see it, the first instinct is fix it. Someone's getting angry, you feel like, भाई एक पानी का बड़ा सा बरून दे मारो ठंडा हो जाएगा. But obviously, society, you can't do stuff like that. But knowing what I know for my own self, yes, on a day-to-day basis, I am super careful. Or not super careful, I would say super aware of how I am talking, how I am saying or even writing. Most of my text responses are actually emojis or those caricatures that dance and move a little bit, because that is what I reflect in the way that I talk.
Okay.
Now, on a more normal life aspect अगर बात करें तो yes, there are things that annoy you, there are things that irritate you. Somebody says something that gets on your nerves. With all these learned skills, with all these learned abilities, it gives you a choice. Do I have the state choice to get derailed from my state of awareness and calmness? Or do I have the choice to maintain it and detach it from that which was about to affect me instantaneously? So it's about having a state choice. Most people who get flared up or super angry super quickly don't, in their wildest dreams, don't have the choice of responding to with another emotion, no matter what the situation. तो कर सकता हूँ, कर पाता हूँ, कर रहा हूँ कई बार. Of course, something sometimes comes up when my mom points out कि तुम्हारे NLP से ये नहीं ठीक कर सकते तो अपना. Like, हाँ, a point तो है.
Moms are the most savage people.
Moms are the most savage people. And actually, while funny or hilarious or however it may be, but it does point out to patterns of life, patterns of beliefs, patterns that are not serving you any more purpose to your own growth and success. So would you still continue to do that now that you're aware that it's not helping you? No, right? You would change it. You would do all that you can to change it. So yes, NLP does help in with certain processes and techniques. It does help you to even work on your own self.
So, before we end this conversation, is there something which you can demonstrate here?
Of course,
Of course, I'll be your subject.
you'll be my
But let's see if we can do something.
certainly. So one is something that you already experienced, by the way, right?
Ladies.
The jalebis,
Yeah.
right? So that was an example of, if you want to put it in the name of the process, what I got you to do was actually two sort of processes in one, two in 1 hour. So one was, if you remember, I asked you to, I asked you the question, how close or far is the jalebi? You said it's like right here,
Yeah.
right? And I asked, okay, push it a little bit away. So this methodology of close and distance and then, making it small or big or change the color, this pattern is called swish, SWISH. This whole thing is not the pattern, it's a part of that pattern, and it is very effectively used for visualizations, affirmations. One of the things that was used by my colleague for the Miss India pageant winner, तो वो उसके लिए यूज किया था, wherein you see the crowning being done, bring it up close. So it varies for people as to what is more real for them. This is more real for them or that is more real for them. It varies, right? Because of very many things that they've grown up with and how they define what is real and unreal and all that stuff. Let's see, it's more of a very common neuroscience technique to check it out. So if you put both your hands just like this, okay, and interlock your fingers, and don't like, but lock these fingers and let this finger stay out.
Okay.
Thumb you can join, okay, and the index finger out, and just sort of as far as you can push them apart, and hand straight. Now with the left hand, pull the right hand towards the left.
Oh, from the left hand, pull the right hand.
Pull to the left and pull to the right,
Okay.
both at the same time.
Hands.
Like pull them apart. Right?
Okay,
Pull them
okay,
apart.
okay, okay, okay.
Okay. And look right through the center of both the fingers.
Okay.
Keep looking.
Yeah.
Keep looking.
Oh, damn.
Keep looking.
Oh, damn.
Keep looking. What happened?
Oh my god. Okay.
What did you do?
Did you see that? Did you see that? Oh my god. Okay, what did you do?
Hold on. And just clasp your hands again. Don't pull them.
Okay.
Now try and repeat the same thing without pulling your hands.
Repeat as in bring it together.
Yeah, bring it together. But in the exact same way, in that exact same speed. Can you repeat it?
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, but if you notice, there's that little bit of pull there between the fingers. It's not so wide and open.
It's not.
It's only when it's that pull is there that this is happening.
Reek. How did this happen?
So this is
Like in my head, I'm asking the fingers to not go closer.
Notice what you're saying. Say that again.
Oh god, okay. I was asking, or I was sort of asking the fingers to, because the second time around you told me कि ये होने वाला है, तो I was like ये नहीं होना चाहिए.
Exactly. So you are doing a conversation negotiation to do or not do, but in the end it is translating to the subconscious as अभी तो हो गया चुका है. It's just done. Like now I'm forcing it. Now I'm not doing the process. Now I'm just forcing it. होना चाहिए. नहीं. Now, this is an example of when you can't focus on anything else, focus on this. This helps you refocus your entire visual, auditory, kinesthetic into one moment, one singularity, because you're focusing right in the center. And I'm trying to pull the fingers apart. Breathe in, breathe out, the normal, regular stuff to center yourself. Then restart your activity. What are you doing? You'll always have a little bit more juice than before.
Wow, okay.
A very simple technique of refocusing your focus.
Oh, what is this technique called?
I mean, like just call it play with your fingers. Nothing more. Otherwise, it'll sound very weird. It's just, see, identifying many such techniques on making it work for you. Like, for example, take a hand out, like anyone, okay? Take it. Now, if I push, so you just make sure that you're holding it. Not tight, not loose, just firm,
normal,
right? Now, take it. Now, if I say your name is Nimisha, yes?
Yes.
Your name is Nimisha, yes?
Yes.
Your name is Nimisha,
Yes.
Your name is Abhishek.
No.
Your name is Abhishek.
No.
Okay. Now, it may not be visible on the camera, but Nimisha. Okay. Abhishek. Do you sense a difference in this? What is the difference? You can put your hand down for now.
Yeah, so when the response was no, somehow I could feel more resistance automatic.
Right.
And because you were pushing it against the resistance, it was just bouncing
exactly.
going a little more like bouncy effect.
So for example, take a hand out again. So let's say you're sitting on a couch.
Yes.
You're sitting on a couch. You're sitting on a bicycle. Does that feel different?
Yeah, totally.
Right? You're a human?
Yes.
Nah, you're a cat. But you still feel it. Even though you're laughing, you still feel the...
Yeah. I can feel the resistance here.
So you can relax. So what this is called is the congruence test. And you can do it this way. You can... if you can bring yourself up to stand, and there's something called sway signals. There's a slightly, not dangerous, but you need a soft landing just in case you sway too much and fall.
Okay.
Right? We do that. It's a way of getting unconscious signals from your own body, your own system, to have a conversation on the basis of a yes and a no. So what if you can establish a yes and a no signal with your subconscious and make edits to your sleep patterns, to your language patterns, to your beliefs, to your goals? There is no limit. But a very important caution. You will not be able to work against the wellness of you, which is the primary objective of your entire subconscious. What does the subconscious controller do? Makes your heart run, pump the blood, make sure the digestive system works, all the other parts work, the sensory system works, all of those things, right? Stuff that you cannot control with the conscious thought process. If you go to edit that, it'll be a trust breach between you and your subconscious, and it'll stop responding to, tu cheating kiya mere saath, main nahi kaam karega. Will be the kind of stuff that happens. I tried doing that. I was locked out. My subconscious stopped responding. Like, tu khilwad karta hai, main nahi khelega tere saath. Wrong game. And of course, you can call it, dude, you're doing nonsense, crazy talk with yourself. That's one way of describing it, I would say. It's a perspective of how you view it. But if you do it with the right intention, it can work wonders.
Okay. So this was great. One last thought.
Sure.
We know that it is not very popular, NLP, even though it seems like a very important arm of psychology, probably.
Oh, please don't say that. Psychologists will get super offended.
No, it is, right? When you're playing with the subconscious mind, when you're sort of connecting your consciousness with your subconscious, it is psychology. I mean, that's the definition of psychology. So in any case, so again, definitely a lot of serious issues can be resolved or may be resolved using NLP. A lot of day-to-day things, which is simple things like achieving a goal or probably changing a bad habit,
Right.
could be done. How do people reach out? Like, not to you in particular, but how do I know that, okay, I need, maybe NLP is the thing for me? That's first. Second is, how do I reach out to a authorized or a practicing, personal?
Firstly, there is no such regularization by norms or standards or whatever in India. And as far as I know, not even in the rest of the world. There are some societies, etc., in America, in the UK and Australia, like bodies that do govern, but it's like that, right? How many of the people want to be part of such a body versus not be part of such a body, and all that stuff is there. But now, one part is that you go to the creator of it. Nothing else is there. So there are co-creators. They also had a falling out. It's very famous, very public. 2002 May the decision came that okay, both of them will be called as the co-creators. Like, there is not one individual creator. There are two co-creators. Dr. John Grinder and Richard Bandler, both very well alive, still do their sessions, still do their workshops, and of course it's super pricey because they are the masters. They've had their own students over the years, certified them, who are also doing trainings across the world. Again, super pricey. As far as my knowledge goes, very less people in India trained by them who are also training.
Okay.
Who are also doing workshops. Studied by them or studied one or two sessions with them, because they do go as like visiting faculty to other trainers. So that trickle down factor is there, right? Now the thing is, for any curious person to know about NLP, there are 99 rupees master classes, this, that, which everyone has access to these days, thanks to post-COVID era and everybody wanting to do everything. The question is how legitimate or how good of a quality it is. I can't vouch for that, to be honest.
No, so I'm not talking about people who want to learn NLP.
Right.
I'm talking about people who may need help.
No, coming to that. So obviously you would need to reach out to a person who is a trained person of NLP. So how do you trust, or who do you trust? Do you trust some certification? Do you trust only testimonials? And this world of digital media and AI deepfake and all that stuff, what do you trust? Unfortunately, there's no one answer. There is only trial and error, which is how it has been working for so long, that people will try with one person, they'll either get the result or not get the result. According to their budget, they will reach out, oh my god, it is too expensive. Oh, acha, TK 500 I can spend. And there are people who, based on their own limitations or beliefs or the places where they live in, or with their experience or they are already over accomplished in something else that they don't need to charge, so they're offering for free. Those kinds of permutations, combinations will help connect a person to someone who can offer the service accordingly.
So हमारा ऑफ द कैमरा कॉन्वर्सेशंस काफी इंटरेस्टिंग हो रहे हैं, जिसमें बहुत मजा आ रहा है मुझे, तो दिस कैन कंटिन्यू फॉर आवर्स, बट बिकॉज वी हैव टू एंड एवरी गुड थिंग, ताकि हम प्रेजेंट कर सके लोगों को. So we will end this conversation for our viewers, and hopefully we will be able to invite you again to talk more in depth about this topic, because this was, I think, barely scratching the surface that you have done right now.
Yeah.
तो मुझे आपको अगर एड्रेस करना है हमारे व्यूअर्स को, तो what is that one thing that you would like to tell them, which may help them or which may guide them maybe towards, again, leading a better life or more fulfilled life?
Maybe a couple of things, and this is something that I've observed in my own life patterns and my loved ones when you know see them repeating the same damn thing over and over again. So probably what I'll say is going to be a few disconnected things, but if you can make the most of it, all the best to you. Stuff like be careful, be gentle, firstly with yourself. I know all of us have ambitions, hopes, things we would want to achieve. And in the doing of that, even the slightest mistake, even the, you're chasing towards some goal and some mistake happens and, oh my God, yaar, kya galti kar di yaar ye. You are telling this to yourself. What if you can say, it's okay? It's okay. एक exercise है, it's okay को say it in different tonalities. Lovingly, hatefully, romantically. But say it to yourself and see how it makes you feel. Trust me, it'll do wonders. Start saying it's okay. Then whatever you have to say it anyways. First say it's okay. It'll change your very thought process. That is one. Second is, when you're talking to your loved ones, apply the same principle. At the same time, give them the benefit of doubt. It's not that they are out there to do you harm. Like in general, genuinely, people are just curious. People are just limited by their own day-to-day living situations. It's so intense that we don't know what war they are fighting inside their minds. So if we can be a little gentle and ask them, just genuinely ask them, hey, do you need any help? Can I be there for you? Because most people don't say what's bothering them. Lastly, I'm not here to tell you, hey, come to me and I will solve your problems. No. But you have a challenge. Don't stop till you find a solution. And try. There is not one path to the end. It's like saying plan A, plan B. Boss, there are 26 letters in the alphabet. Very cliched sentence. I know that. But I'm saying it's not just these 26. There is plan A, B and A, C and A, Z and Y, H, and make the computation combination now and you have millions of options. But the question is, you have to make them. You have to go through that. You probably don't have the patience now, but if you do, if you put in the little bit of patience for yourself, you are going to become your number one cheerleader and supporter and achieve results faster than all of your entire khandan put together. Try that. It'll work.
Okay. That's, I think, great message for everybody who's listening. I am definitely going to apply some of it, hopefully, and I'll take help whenever I can't apply it. But thank you so much, Harsh, for joining in as the first guest on the Quiet Reset. It's been a wonderful conversation, and you have been very, very patient. That was off camera, we know it. So thank you for being that great champion and supporter of this podcast and this effort.
बहुत आ रही था
आपने तथास्तु बोल दिया है, तो बढ़िया है. And I think we'll just wind it up here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.